Hi, it's Jacob Buchanan with Achilles Mortgage, presenting Mortgage and Muscles with my girl, Miss Jenn from Hamilton House. And we're just going to go over a few topics such as the market, of course, real estate, and in general, staying fit physically, mentally, and just kind of, talking small things, life. Let's get to it.
Love it.
All right. Well, Miss Jenn, where are you from originally?
I'm actually a Jacksonville native, which is rare.
Very rare.
But born and raised.
All right.
Thanks to the military that
Okay.
brought me here.
Father, mother?
Father brought my mom from the island.
All right. What island?
Philippines.
Philippines. Okay. Well, I appreciate his service.
And you appreciate my mom's lumpia and pancit.
And I will be requesting that shortly as well.
I can't make it.
You can't. Well, I was gonna say because
Come on.
love Filipino food. They're so good. Filipino food is so good. Okay, so you're from here originally.
Yeah.
Okay, and then how long have you been in the industry for? How long have you been a realtor?
So I started real estate 6.5 years ago. I did the natural progression of the service industry world. Not a stripper. The restaurants, the bars, managing, bartending, serving. So it was just a natural progression as you learn how to navigate many personalities. Drunk personalities. So
no, absolutely. I'm from the service industry background. Besides my degree, not stripper, not yet.
Cool.
May happen at some time. But no, worked served at Cheesecake, Olive Garden, Ruby Tuesdays, all that good stuff. So definitely have that background.
The life skills.
The life skills you get, the communication.
Oh gosh, yeah.
The just interacting with numerous different types of people and different ways of life in a sense, or even just the kind of random encounters you have from being a bartender. Or
right,
yeah, like late nights, absolutely.
Late nights, club life.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, so many famous people just would just come through, and you're just like,
I remember I shook Allen Iverson's hand at Cheesecake Factory. It was super cool. He's like a little shorter than me, so that was pretty cool.
You're short.
Yeah, he's like
Do you know that's my buddy?
5'11". Allen Iverson.
Allen Iverson
really?
Came to the bar so many times,
yeah.
And I messed up. I guess I wouldn't let his buddy in one day. He calls me up and he's like, I can't get so and so in, and I'm like, what? So I go over there and he just is yelling my name, and I'm like, Alvin, calm down.
You called him Alvin?
His name's Alan.
That's awesome. That just made the video.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yes, I also hung out with Allen Iverson.
Okay.
But I did mess it up.
That's pretty. Hey, he probably remembers you for that. So, what would you say is the part of Jacksonville's area? Huge Jacksonville, of course, biggest landmass city in the country.
We are.
Where do you kind of focus on more or less?
So for me, I mean, here's the thing: I don't turn down business, no matter price point, no matter distance. So I do all of Northeast Florida. So it just depending on what somebody needs, wants, whatever. But because I grew up in Arlington, I still live in Arlington. I've bought 2 houses. And I am A-town, stay down.
Okay.
I do know Arlington like the back of my hand. So, but property-wise, they call me the condo queen at our brokerage.
You love condos.
Condos love me.
Oh, they do.
There's a difference.
I'm working on one right now. Having a stopple problem.
Gotta love the HOA.
Yeah.
I everything from the collapse and the lack of proper insurance to, breed restrictions, short-term rental restrictions. There's just a lot of more that goes in with condos. Sure. But you know what? But certain people love that lifestyle.
Okay.
Certain people love
less maintenance, exterior-wise.
Yeah, and then it's usually it's the single girl.
Okay.
Doesn't know how to start a lawnmower.
Okay.
Like, no offense, ladies, but
that makes sense. I mean, everything has a certain pro and con for each person. That makes sense. Like a little elderly person probably wants a first floor, a condominium.
Exactly. So I had an older couple downsize from their huge family home to half the size, and they are loving it.
Okay.
They love the freedom. They love just no maintenance.
Yeah.
So
no, that's the thing. Personally, I love cutting my grass. I have to drive right on, and Every 2 weeks, see me back there in the nice Florida
You
sun.
can get through 2 weeks? Yeah. I gotta do mine every week.
Week and a half. I don't know. I cut it kind of low.
Okay.
Yeah. About 3 inches.
Well, my lawn guy was Mr. Larry, and Mr. Larry hurt his back earlier this year, so I am now Mr. Larry.
Oh, okay.
Not that I couldn't hire another Mr. Larry.
You're waiting for him to get back on his feet.
His wife told him he's done.
Oh, okay.
He's done.
Okay.
But I broke my wrist earlier this year, so being as independent as I am and having to ask for help was so humbling. So humbling. So now that I can start a lawnmower again, open my own Gatorades, walk my own dog, I gladly do my yard work now.
Awesome.
So a whole new lease on life since that little incident. But.
For sure. One thing I wanted to ask you, I kind of see a different aspect on like property types and like for condos. Like condos, I'll do a condo all day long. Of course, they're not the funnest transaction type. But do you feel like there's a difference in, and maybe this is something that we could, feedback on a little bit later, but would you say single family home, condo, townhome, will they all appreciate equally? Or really, will that home type change that variable, or is it really just market based, area based, would you say?
I mean, as far as the appraisal goes?
Yeah, like appraisal, like resale value over time.
Okay. So the appraisal value, I feel like everybody does their homework on that. So we're not really overpricing, and we're not in that market where everybody wants to pay over the appraised value. So, the price is the price, basically. Mm-hmm. Now, as far as making you money in the long run, I feel like it's a case-by-case situation because you don't know basically what's going to happen to the neighborhood. True. Will an investor come in and pick up a bunch of single family homes in one neighborhood?
That's true.
And I hate to say it, but sometimes, most of the time, historically shows when renters come in, they don't keep up the neighborhood as well as a homeowner does. So whether it's a condo, a townhouse, or a single family home, you just never know. But in the grand scheme of things, home ownership will always, the benefits will always outweigh renting.
Absolutely. And that's the thing that I think what we're here to is try to educate people on the difference between renting and ownership. Ownership is going to always put you in a positive. 3 to 5 years, you could receive a tremendous growth in value increase, your savings, an asset that appreciates. There's tax write-off. There's so many positives that you're not. Because at the end of the day, you're just paying somebody else's lifestyle. You don't have to be a multimillionaire to even own an apartment complex. But when you're residing there, you're just throwing money away to a certain extent.
Well, 100%, you're throwing away money. So, and here's the thing: you have to live somewhere. Mm-hmm. So, do you want to pay your own mortgage and set yourself up to have some money later?
Yeah.
Or do you want to pay? You want to make somebody else rich?
Absolutely.
So, it just comes back to that, and I think. These days, it's really getting these buyers into realistic expectations. Mm-hmm. And maybe they're at a different point in their lives. We all are.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
You have these first-time buyers that are looking at their friends and they're like, but they already live here and this. That's their third house.
Yeah,
they worked up to that.
Start here, next one. Yeah. It's to the point right now that like people are on their fourth house and they have so much equity built up. By the time they sell that house, they buy the next one cash.
Right, that's true.
And a lot of people from other states are doing that in our market right now.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Because we are the last affordable city in Florida.
Mm-hmm, for
sure.
Like
if you think about it, and we're behind the times. Mm-hmm. Jacksonville's a little slow moving, but it's steady. We have military bases, so where maybe some other markets may have slowed down a bit.
Yeah.
I feel like we always stay steady because no matter what, the military is going to move here and the military is going to move away.
Absolutely.
They need somewhere to live. They get BAH, their housing allowance.
Yeah, housing allowance.
So why not invest in that? And then once it's time for you to go, let's figure out the numbers. Will it make sense for you to cash out now and sell? Mm-hmm. Or will it make sense for you to rent this, hang on to
Absolutely.
it, for a few more years, have somebody else pay your mortgage.
Yep.
Later on down the road, you move back, you don't move back, you go somewhere else, you sell it, whatever the case may be, but you have that option.
Yeah.
Where renting, that's it. Pack up your stuff, go.
And
you have nothing to show for it.
Nothing to show. And that's the thing. We don't get any pensions anymore. Social is a minute amount. So a big retirement plan that we have to start thinking about is your passive income, and that's from rentals.
Right.
Yeah, so that is
Your mailbox
definitely
money.
mailbox money. You need it
100%.
because at the end of the day, how are we gonna, we're gonna be 80 years old before you know it, and where the fund's gonna
I'll
come
be there
from.
quicker though.
You're not much older than me. Okay, so no, yeah, I love my VA clients as well. So, yeah, VA loans are fun. They're usually really just chill people. I spent it in my last video.
And they don't. I have a military background. Military. I've dated a lot of military. Okay, so, but it's nothing they teach.
Yeah,
it's nothing they teach. Like you actually have benefits, and if you're getting housing allowance, why wouldn't you start investing?
Literally.
Like they don't know. They don't know until someone educates them, and that's us.
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
We have to educate.
And it's one of the easier loans to qualify for pertaining to like limited credit score. Technically, I could do a 480 technically. A larger DTI, there's not really a spectrum of what the farthest your debt to income could be, and 100% financing. Like people can get paid to buy a home VA.
Right. I mean, and you think about COVID time where everybody was losing their jobs. VA loans were the most solid because you can't really get fired from the military.
Can't get fired from the military.
I mean, I guess you can get a dishonorable discharge,
but that's
But you're not just going to get laid off.
Exactly.
Like the typical, I mean.
Never thought of that in that sense.
The restaurants, the bars, the people that just show up for work and they're
like,
oh, we're closed.
Yeah,
cool.
the service industry was hit hard.
Hard.
Entertainment industry, no, absolutely. So this is the portion where I kind of like to talk about fitness. And there's all types of fitness, right? So there's your physical. Jenn is like a runner, right? And then we have you have the weightlifting portion, and then we have mental fitness as well. Our industry is not mostly the most physical industry, but it's very highly, I would say, mentally driven. What would you say?
Not only mentally draining, because I feel like any job can be mentally draining, but it's the grind because you're self-employed. So if you don't close on a house, how am I going to eat? How am I going to pay my mortgage?
Sure.
So you've got that hustler mentality. It's the got to answer this call, got to answer this email, and it's got to be right now. I got to make sure I'm,
you're kind of available
24/7 on vacation. Answering your phone. Dinner time, answering your phone. Or, and it's just, and we don't really focus on it too much because in our minds, we want to put off, like on social media and everything else that, I'm a hustler, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. But then when do you make time for yourself?
For sure.
Like, who cares? You can make all the money in the world. Who cares if your family's unhappy? If your friends are unhappy, your pets are unhappy, you're unhappy. You don't make time for you.
You have to be able to juggle both health wise.
Right.
And then don't let the hustler mentality take away just, being thankful, but also just like separating them from one another. And that's a big thing in our industry. Like some people, it could consume you. And
I've seen it.
Yeah, and a lot of people are losing the industry. They're leaving the industry right now. I think like 40%.
Burnout is real.
It is real.
It is a real thing, and it's something we don't really talk about. But I'm an open book, so I've lived that life where it's just work, no time for me. I don't have time to sleep. I don't have time to work out. I don't really have time to eat. And you're losing all this weight and you think you're doing great, but it's unhealthy lifestyle.
Absolutely.
So it's just, so I've learned over the years, take a break, take a time out. And if your customers are realistic, they're going to understand it.
We're just people too, right? Yeah.
Well, we're not robots and machines.
Not yet, at least. Not yet.
So take the time and do what... whatever your like mental release is. Mine's nature. I need to be outside. I am feral. I want to be dirty. I want to go sleep in my van. I want to be one with nature. I want to go paddleboarding. I want to see some gators. I want to live life.
Are you a kayaker, snorkel, scuba dive?
Paddleboard. So technically, I know this is Mortgage and Muscles, and
this is the muscle action, right here.
Lacking there. However, I'm on my 3rd week back in, and at 43, this is my PSA that it's never too late to start. Start again. I'm 3 weeks in. Genetics has blessed me just being tall and thin, but
Yep.
it's unhealthy.
I mean,
I took probably realistically year and a half or so off from the gym.
Okay.
I went to the gym for the very first time the other day.
gym is not. I mean, you can do other things. That
Correct.
basically
Correct.
keeps you-
So
yeah.
I mean, I've started working out again.
Okay.
But luckily, I've always stayed active.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
As
I'm
long
an
as
active
you're moving. Your body's
person.
moving.
Like I said, I like to do my own yard work. I like that sweat. I like that. I like paddle boarding. I like swimming. I like hiking. I love hiking.
Okay.
I love to be out in nature.
That's a good workout, especially midsummer, Florida summer at that.
Yeah, I did this hike in Georgia over the summer, and a couple of my friends hated me, but I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I thought it was the best workout. We couldn't walk for 2 days after. It was amazing doing the Tallulah Gorge, so I highly recommend that.
Tallulah Gorge. We should check that out.
Down to the water slide.
Okay.
I mean, it's 340 steps down, and then you've got to cross the river, this raging river on these slippery rocks. You got to take your shoes off. I loved every
That sounds
second.
pretty cool.
I
That sounds
loved
pretty cool.
every second of it. But I mean, that's my release. That's my outlet.
That's staying level-headed. You know, you have to be physically, mentally, emotionally ready to take on that next customer because you're taking some of their baggage, and this is a high stressful job. I mean, dealing with
and it
hundreds
is,
of thousands.
and if I'm also stressed out, like how can I help your stressful situation?
Exactly. Yeah.
And and here's the thing about real estate, like it's not really emergencies. Like a house is not on fire. I'm
Yeah.
not a firefighter, although I put out a lot of fires, a lot.
Fire.
But like it's real estate. Like, hey, I'm unavailable because I'm half dying in the woods. Call you later. I'll
Yeah.
email you later. I'll look at the house later.
Hey, I'll talk to you soon, and we'll
that's
figure
it.
this out together. Absolutely.
It's totally fine.
One thing I wanted to ask you, so you've been in the industry for 6 years. You're at Hamilton House currently. What would you say that separates that brokerage compared to others, in your opinion?
So my first year started off big brokerage, high producing team. I am very independent, and I don't really need accountability as far as work goes because
Okay.
I have to work. I have to eat.
Yeah, that's
I am the breadwinner.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, if my dog likes to eat, so we're not eating if I'm not working, but I don't need someone breathing over my shoulder.
for sure. I
So
can
it
understand
didn't work for me in a sense because I'm kind of a wild child. I like to do my own thing. And the way I see things is there's more than one way to skin a cat.
that. Absolutely.
So there's more than one way to get business. There's more than one way to, and I don't do well with someone else's routine and someone constantly checking on me,
Okay.
constantly like. So anyway, I learned a ton. I mean, because even if it's something that you don't agree with, but you learn something.
You learn something, yeah, for
You
better
learn-
or worse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You learn like, okay, well, that's not going to be my that ain't my
Your approach.
ministry.
Okay,
That ain't
yeah,
my ministry.
okay,
Okay.
okay.
So and I go about it my way, and you know what? And it was, let's just see what happens. And it's worked.
Yeah.
I've been me, and I've been able to now balance being a better daughter. Like I've been able to take my mom on trips, being a better sister. My sister and I now go on to away games together. So it's been a lot better, and I'm just a better person to everyone if I can put myself first.
There you go.
If
Okay.
I can have my mental health there, my physical health there, the work's going to be there. And a lot of it's a lot of faith over fear too.
Absolutely.
So-
fear holds you back. Fear
Yep.
is supporting the who. But no, that's pretty much what we want to go over today. I appreciate Miss Jenn for coming in.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming over, and we'll see you next episode. If you want any contact of ours, it'll be on the bottom of the video, and don't hesitate to reach out. Jenn is here to available, and if you're looking for a loan or mortgage, please just contact me. See you next episode.